To achieve lasting success and build an unshakable foundation, you must consistently challenge yourself, push past your limits, and step into the unknown. The greatest achievements are born from those willing to endure the struggle, understanding that setbacks are not roadblocks, but stepping stones. Your ability to bounce back is your superpower. Develop this and you become unstoppable. Resilient individuals aren't those who never fail, they are those who never stop trying. They grasp that failure is temporary, while quitting makes it permanent. When life inevitably knocks you down, remember, success isn't about avoiding hardships, but about overcoming them. Stand up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward, because every step taken after a setback is a step closer to victory. Resilience isn't merely a skill. It's a way of life that, once mastered, renders you unbreakable. The fourth essential pillar is the unshakable power of self-belief. Before anyone else believes in you, you must believe in yourself. Self-belief forms the bedrock of all great accomplishments, acting as the silent force that empowers individuals to defy odds, transcend circumstances, and claim the life they deserve. The most significant limitations in life are rarely external. They are internal. The insidious doubts, fears, and negative self-talk that serve as the true adversaries of success. Without self-belief, external validation is meaningless, but with it, you become an undeniable force. Reflect on moments of self-doubt, hesitation, or second-guessing. Was that doubt rooted in reality or in fear? Most self-doubt is a conditioned response to past failures, criticism, or apprehension of the unknown. The good news is that belief is a choice, cultivated through repetition, much like building muscle. Each action taken despite fear, every instance you prove your capability to handle challenges, strengthens this belief. Start with small victories. Set a goal, achieve it, and consciously remind yourself of your competence. History abounds with individuals who triumphed solely due to their self-belief when no one else shared their vision. Walt Disney was dismissed for lacking creativity before building an empire. Henry Ford faced ridicule for his vision of affordable automobiles, yet he revolutionized an entire industry. The Wright brothers were mocked for attempting human flight, but their unwavering conviction changed the course of history. Confidence isn't a gift, it's meticulously built. The moment you wholeheartedly believe in yourself, the world will reflect that belief. Doors will open, opportunities will arise, and success will be drawn to you like a magnet. People are naturally drawn to those who exude certainty, purpose, and trust in their own abilities. However, self-belief isn't about arrogance or blind optimism. It's about recognizing your inherent worth, diligently developing your skills, and taking decisive action. It involves silencing the inner critic and replacing doubt with an unyielding determination. Never in the face of failure, belief empowers you to rise again, stronger and wiser. The fundamental distinction between those who achieve and those who settle isn't talent or luck. It's the courage to believe in oneself despite overwhelming odds. Every monumental success story begins with someone who decided they were capable long before any external proof existed. Therefore, choose to believe in yourself today, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, but now. The sooner you embrace this belief, the sooner success will inevitably follow. It begins with a fundamental decision, a powerful mindset, and the conviction that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. Success is not reserved for those who wait for the world's validation. It belongs to those who validate themselves first. Stand tall, trust in your immense potential, and advance with unwavering faith, because the instant you truly believe in yourself, you become unstoppable. Discipline, learning, your circle, and an abundance mindset. The fifth key, the one that unlocks every door, is discipline. If success had a secret weapon, it would not be talent, luck, or even intelligence, but simply discipline. The unwavering ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. This commitment separates the successful from the unsuccessful. Many people passively wait for motivation, thinking, I'll start when I feel ready. However, readiness is a myth. Relying solely on motivation for action leads to inconsistency, as motivation is fleeting. Some days you'll wake up inspired, others you won't. This is precisely where discipline steps in, acting as the indispensable bridge between goals and results. It's the critical differentiator between those who merely dream and those who actively achieve. Observe the most successful individuals across any field. Athletes train when they lack desire, entrepreneurs work when no one is watching, and writers continue to write even when inspiration is absent. They grasp a fundamental truth. Success is built on consistent daily habits, not sporadic bursts of effort. Their secret isn't that they always feel like working, but that they work anyway. They don't procrastinate waiting for the right mood or perfect conditions. They consistently show up day after day and execute what's necessary. Discipline, much like a muscle, strengthens with consistent training. You don't need drastic overnight changes. Begin small. Wake up on time. Follow through on commitments. Adhere to your schedule. Each seemingly minor act of discipline compounds over time, building unstoppable momentum. Over weeks, months, and years, these small actions accumulate into life-changing results. Consider discipline as the foundational bedrock upon which all success is built. Without it, even the most meticulously crafted plans crumble. A brilliant strategy remains useless without the discipline to execute it. A $1,000,000 idea holds no value if you lack the discipline to bring it to life. Remember the timeless truth. Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. The only way to guarantee consistent hard work is through developing discipline. Ask yourself, are your daily habits truly aligned with your goals? If not, it's time for a change. Success isn't defined by what you do occasionally, it's defined by what you do every single day. The choices you make today shape the life you'll experience tomorrow. If you discipline yourself to take action, even when the desire isn't present, you will become unstoppable. The path to success is often long and arduous, marked by moments where you'll want to quit, or progress feels painstakingly slow. Yet discipline is what keeps you moving, keeps you on track when motivation wanes. It ensures you continue forward, even when the journey is challenging. So, don't wait for motivation, and don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now. Train your discipline like a muscle, and witness as your unwavering consistency transforms your dreams into reality. Ultimately, success belongs to those who consistently show up, do the work, and never cease pushing forward. And the sixth principle is the art of continuous learning and adaptability. In a world changing at an unprecedented pace, what worked yesterday may be obsolete tomorrow. The most successful individuals don't resist change, they actively embrace it. They are lifelong learners, perpetually evolving. In a world of constant flux, adaptability is the ultimate competitive advantage. Knowledge is power, but only when actively applied. Reading a book alone won't change your life, applying its lessons will. Attending a seminar won't transform you, taking action on those insights will. Growth is an active, not passive process, demanding effort, intention, and a willingness to step beyond your comfort zone. Learning isn't merely about collecting facts, it's about utilizing them to improve, innovate, and maintain a competitive edge. The true secret is that learning extends beyond consuming information, it's about adapting. It requires an open mind to new ideas, fresh perspectives, and novel ways of thinking. The moment you believe you know everything, you cease growing, and when growth stops, decline begins. The world is relentlessly moving forward, and so should you. The greatest leaders, thinkers, and innovators remain humble students of life. They understand that wisdom isn't about possessing all the answers, but about the willingness to seek new ones. Your mind is like a blade. Without regular sharpening, it becomes dull, ineffective against new challenges. Successful people recognize that personal development is not a singular event, but a lifelong commitment. The daily sharpening of the mind, the constant refinement of skills, and the consistent effort to remain relevant in an ever-changing world. Ask yourself, what are you learning today that will make you better tomorrow? Are you engaging with perspectives that challenge your own? Are you actively applying what you learn or simply consuming knowledge without action? The difference between success and stagnation often boils down to execution. Commit to feeding your mind daily. Read, listen, observe, and most importantly, apply. Knowledge without action is mere potential. Knowledge with action is raw power. The force driving progress, fueling innovation, and creating lasting success. The world will continue to change, with or without your participation. The pivotal question is, will you evolve, adapt, and grow with it, or will you remain stagnant, clinging to outdated methods in a new world? The choice is yours. Embrace continuous learning, take decisive action, and stay ahead. In a world that never stops moving, the only path to survival and thriving is to keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing forward. The seventh crucial element is recognizing that your circle defines you. Look closely at the people in your life. Are they uplifting you or pulling you down? Success isn't solely about what you do. It's profoundly influenced by who you surround yourself with. Your immediate environment shapes your mindset, your habits, and ultimately, your destiny. It's often said that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your circle comprises winners, ambition becomes your norm. If you're surrounded by complainers, mediocrity becomes comfortable. Energy, both positive and negative, is undeniably contagious. Spend sufficient time with those who settle for less, and you'll soon find yourself doing the same. Conversely, immerse yourself with those who demand more of themselves, and you will naturally rise to meet that higher standard. Successful individuals meticulously protect their circle, surrounding themselves with people who inspire, challenge, and propel them towards growth. They actively seek mentors, network with achievers, and decisively cut ties with negativity. This isn't selfishness, it's a strategic imperative. Every conversation, every interaction you engage in either propels you closer to your goals or pulls you further away. The best in any field understand that their time and energy are their most invaluable assets, and they invest both wisely. Ask yourself, who are you spending your time with? Are they helping you improve or holding you back? Do they encourage you to aim higher, or do they reinforce your doubts and excuses? Your inner circle should consist of individuals who challenge your thinking, introduce you to new opportunities, and inspire you to become your best self. This doesn't necessarily cutting people out of your life for the sake of it, but it absolutely demands intentionality about who gains access to your precious time and energy. Sometimes distancing yourself from certain relationships is a necessary step for personal growth. You don't owe anyone your stagnation. You owe yourself progress. Actively seek out those who embody the qualities you admire. Learn from those who have already achieved what you aspire to. Surround yourself with people who push you beyond your comfort zone, because that's precisely where authentic growth happens. Find mentors who have navigated the path before you and can offer invaluable guidance. Cultivate relationships with those who genuinely celebrate your successes and steadfastly support you through your failures. Your circle profoundly matters. It dictates the conversations you have, the standards you uphold, and the limitations you set for yourself. If you aspire to elevate your life, begin by elevating the people in your immediate environment. Choose wisely, because the individuals around you don't just influence your mindset, they shape your entire future. The 8th vital element is shifting from scarcity to abundance. Success isn't solely about skill, it's fundamentally about mindset. How you perceive the world directly determines what you attract into your life. Your perspective on opportunities, challenges, and setbacks dictates whether you rise above circumstances or remain trapped within them. Your mindset acts as the lens through which you interpret reality, profoundly shaping your actions, decisions, and ultimately your outcome. A scarcity mindset proclaims, there's not enough to go around. If someone else wins, I lose. This way of thinking breeds fear, intense competition, and jealousy. Individuals operating from a place of lack constantly worry that success is a limited resource. They hesitate to take risks. Fearing failure more than they desire success, they resist collaboration, believing that assisting others will diminish their own potential gain. This mindset creates a self-fulfilling prophecy because they anticipate limitations, they encounter more of them. An abundance mindset, conversely, declares opportunities are everywhere. If someone else succeeds, it proves that I can too. People with an abundance mindset perceive possibilities rather than limitations. They believe that success is not a finite resource, but an ever-expanding field. Instead of viewing others as competitors, they see them as sources of inspiration and potential partners. They focus on growth, continuous learning, and innovation, which empowers them to seize opportunities that others might entirely overlook. The difference between those who achieve and those who don't isn't simply opportunity, it's fundamentally perspective. The most successful individuals look at obstacles and perceive possibilities. They view setbacks as valuable lessons, utilizing failure as a stepping stone rather than an immovable roadblock. They don't question, why is this happening to me? Instead, they ask, what can I learn from this? This profound shift in thinking transforms failures into fuel for growth, making resilience their greatest asset. You inevitably become what you focus on. If your focus is on problems, you will attract more problems. If your focus is on solutions, you will discover more solutions. Your brain is intricately wired to reinforce your dominant thoughts, filtering information based on what you believe to be true. If you constantly tell yourself that you are limited, incapable, or unlucky, your actions will mirror those beliefs. But if you deliberately choose to to believe in abundance, success, and possibility, your actions will align accordingly, opening doors you never even noticed existed before. Shifting from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset requires intentional, consistent effort. Begin by reframing negative thoughts. Instead of saying, "I can't afford this," ask, "How can I afford this?" Instead of thinking, "I'll never succeed like them," remind yourself, "If they can do it, so can I." Surround yourself with people who genuinely inspire you, consume content that expands your perspective, and practice gratitude daily. Gratitude actively shifts your focus from what you lack to what you possess, powerfully reinforcing a mindset of abundance. Your thoughts quite literally shape your reality. If you aspire to attract success, start by thinking like someone who is already successful. See challenges as opportunities, setbacks as invaluable lessons, and the success of others as irrefutable proof that you too can achieve greatness. Change your mindset and you will fundamentally change your life.
We often find ourselves saying, "I want to be better, I want to change," driven by a conscious desire for self-improvement and discipline. Yet, an invisible force frequently sabotages our efforts: the unconscious mind. As Carl Jung believed, the unconscious isn't merely a storage bin for forgotten thoughts. It's a vibrant, living repository of memories, emotions, desires, beliefs, and most importantly, deeply ingrained patterns. These patterns, often formed in childhood through trauma, repetition, and social conditioning, shape our default responses. So, when your conscious self is on board with a goal like, "I'm going to wake up at 6 o'clock a.m. and start running every day," your unconscious might recall years of burnout, associate running with pain or failure, or harbor a deep-seated belief that "I'm not the type of person who sticks with things." This isn't about logic. The unconscious operates on emotion, memory, and symbolism. This is precisely where resistance emerges. Resistance is the voice of the unconscious, attempting to protect you, even from situations that are no longer genuinely dangerous. Imagine a child who was frequently criticized for trying new things, hearing phrases like, "You never finish anything," or "You are not good at that." Over time, their inner child, a very real part of their psyche, learned that trying equates to pain and risk equals shame. As an adult, this ingrained fear leads to avoiding situations where that pain might resurface. We ghost our own goals, not due to a lack of caring, but because something inside us is terrified of failing again. Jung termed this a complex, a cluster of thoughts and emotions tied to a specific theme. When a complex is triggered, it can literally hijack your ability to act clearly or consistently, leading to zoning out, self-sabotage, excessive busyness, or rationalizing why today just isn't the right time to change. It's not a deficit of willpower, it's an inner contradiction, a split between conscious intentions and unconscious fears. Jung famously stated, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate or discipline." This means that true consistency, focus, and alignment require more than just pushing hard. It demands a deeper inquiry. What is this resistance trying to tell me? What belief or memory is at play here? Whose voice is truly speaking in my head? Mine? Or someone else's from my past? What part of me is scared, and what does it need to feel safe showing up? This is the essence of inner work. It isn't flashy or simple checklist, but it's genuinely transformative. Once you actively listen to and understand these unconscious voices, rather than fighting them, something profound shifts. The grip of resistance loosens, and you begin to act from a place of integration instead of internal conflict. Suddenly, discipline feels less like punishment and more like devotion. A commitment to yourself, a practice of remembering who you truly are and showing up for that person every single day. Standing the shadow and cultivating wholeness. If our struggles with discipline stem from inner conflict, then understanding the source of that conflict becomes paramount. This brings us to Carl Jung's concept of the shadow, which is absolutely essential. While many associate shadow with darkness, evil, or shame, Jung saw it differently. The shadow isn't inherently bad, it's simply unknown. It represents the parts of ourselves we've disowned, rejected or exiled because somewhere along the way we were taught this part of you isn't acceptable. We then hide it, suppress it, and try to forget its existence. However, the critical point is that it doesn't disappear. It resides in the unconscious and acts out in subtle, often unnoticed ways that repeatedly trip us up. Here's a challenging truth. Many people struggle with discipline because an internal war is raging. One part yearns to be good, responsible, productive, and controlled, but another part, the shadow side, rejects these rules entirely. This shadow might crave chaos, demand freedom, express anger, rebellion, wildness, or profound hurt. When this part is ignored, it doesn't vanish. It simply sabotages from the back seat. Consider someone who consistently breaks their commitment to wake up early. On the surface, they are frustrated. Why can't I just do this? But underneath, their shadow might be whispering, you've spent your whole life trying to be perfect for other people. I'm done performing. I want rest. I want to be free. This is resistance deeply rooted in an unmet need. Jung's profound insight was that until we consciously recognize and integrate these shadow parts, they will continue to control us unconsciously. This is why he stated, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Therefore, if you struggle with consistency, the solution might not be about trying harder, but rather about finally listening to the part of yourself you've been attempting to silence. The messy, emotional, disappointed, and honest part. When you begin to own that part, not by acting it out destructively, but by acknowledging and respecting it, something powerful occurs. Integration. This is the true alchemy. Suddenly, you're no longer fighting yourself daily. You're aligned. All parts of you are pulling in the same direction. This forms the foundation of genuine discipline. Not fear-based control or self-punishment, but wholeness. This changes everything, because once the shadow is integrated, you stop blindly repeating cycles. You cease ghosting your own potential, and you move with clarity instead of confusion. Practical tools for transformation. Awareness and integration. So how do we actually work with these concepts? How do we translate understanding into tangible transformation? Let's begin with something deceptively simple, yet profoundly impactful. Awareness. Self-discipline starts with self-honesty. I'm not talking about the brutal, shame-based, tough love we often encounter. I'm referring to a gentle, radically honest awareness. Before you can shift the pattern, you must truly see it. Not just the behavior, but the underlying emotion, the driving belief, and the repeated story. For instance, if you consistently say you want to write but never do, ask yourself, what does writing represent to me? What feelings surface when I even consider committing to this? Whose voice do I hear in my head? Is it supportive or critical? What would happen if I succeeded, and am I afraid of that outcome? These aren't superficial questions. They demand you slow down, breathe, and get genuinely real with yourself. As you start answering them honestly and without judgment, you begin to create a crucial space. This space is where meaningful change becomes possible. Now, let's discuss shadow work. It's not mystical or abstract. It's simply the practice of facing and reclaiming the parts of yourself you've denied. This doesn't mean acting on every impulse, but rather understanding their origin, what they're trying to communicate, and how they can be integrated in a healthy way. Perhaps you discover that your resistance to structure stems from a younger self who felt constantly controlled and never truly free. That part might unconsciously sabotage any form of discipline because it perceives it as a threat to its freedom. But once you comprehend that, once you sit with that younger self, acknowledge their pain and show them that structure can actually be chosen, flexible and supportive, the resistance Here's an even deeper realization. Discipline isn't about controlling yourself. It's about caring for yourself. True, lasting discipline is born from love, from clarity, and from a sense of purpose that doesn't originate from external pressure, but from alignment with your higher self. This is where Jung's work beautifully intersects with higher consciousness. He believed that the path of individuation, becoming whole, was the deepest journey a human could undertake, not towards perfection, but towards authenticity. When you begin to perceive discipline, 1. Track resistance, not just habits. Keep a journal or a small notebook. When you find yourself avoiding something, pause and ask, what's truly going on inside me right now? Don't shame yourself, just listen. Patterns will begin to emerge. 2. Have a conversation with your shadow. Literally write a letter from the part of you that resists. Let it express its anger, sorrow, or protest. Then write back from your conscious self with compassion. This may sound unconventional, but it's incredibly powerful. 3. Reframe discipline as spiritual alignment. See every small action, every time you show up for yourself, as a way of honoring your wholeness. It's not about being productive, but about living in integrity with your inner truths. Or grant yourself permission to go slow. Healing isn't linear, nor is growth. Consistency doesn't mean never missing a day. It means returning to your path again and again with grace. 5. Cultivate an environment of depth. Create both digital and physical surroundings that support this deeper way of living. Follow voices that resonate with your soul, not just your ego. Build systems that support your nervous system, not your stress response. Finally, remember this crucial truth. You are not undisciplined because you are lazy. You are a complex, layered being full of stories and experiences that have shaped you in ways most people will never fully see. The very fact that you are engaging with this material demonstrates your readiness to live differently, with greater self-respect, consciousness, and heart. Jung firmly believed that healing comes through integration, through becoming whole. When all the rejected, silenced, and misunderstood parts of you begin to move in the same direction, that is where genuine power, clarity, and freedom reside.